The Dodgers are rumored to be interested in trading for this Brewers ace. Also, LA predicted to sign another all-star. What moves do the Dodgers still need to make this offseason? We've got New Year's resolutions, what 2026 means for this franchise, and where this franchise could go. Also, we got the top 5 best moves of the Andrew Friedman era, and was the 2025 World Series the best World Series of all time? That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger Baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, ready to parade. We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Tony starts the 50-50 clock. Monkey magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is Dodgers Dugout Live with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. Friends call me Dmac. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation, a credentialed member of the media. And if you're new to the channel, your New Year's resolution needs to be watch every single piece of content, every single episode here at Dodgers Nation. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to support every episode, hit the like button and drop a comment down below. This show is brought to you by the LA Sports Report. That's my new show. That's about all LA sports. I'm loyal to the soil, not just Dodgers. We talk a lot of Dodgers over there. Hot takes about your boys in blue. But the Lakers, the Rams, the Chargers, UCLA, USC, LAFC, the Sparks. Who am I missing? The Galaxy, the Kings. Go Kings, go. So subscribe to that. Also, www.gearup.la. That is the official merchandise store here at Dodgers Nation. Get merched up for spring training. Get merched up for the new year. It supports the channel. It supports the show. It supports us here at Dodgers Nation. Also, join that Dodgers Nation Discord. You can talk to thousands of Dodgers fans 24/7, 365. Today's Dodgers poll question of the show. The Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, which Dodgers player, which Dodgers acquisition would you most want? I mean, you look at the names available, the big names that are still out there. Would it be Tarik Skubal? Would it be Kyle Tucker? Would it be Bo Bichette? And right now, the leader is Tarik Skubal still. A lot of Dodgers fans really want to add another ace pitcher. You got Tarik Skubal with 49% of the vote. And then behind him, you got Kyle Tucker at 18%, Cody Bellinger at 18%, and Bo Bichette at just 15%. I need to start a bunch of burner accounts like Noel just so I can vote on my guy Bo Bichette to get the votes up. Get us show Bichette. This is with 3,574 votes. So go vote on that. I did mention my man, Noise by Noel. I haven't seen him since like the All-Star break or something like that. We got Noel rocking with us, still on the IL. This is a guy that plays through injury. This isn't Hanley Ramirez not playing through that rib injury in 2013. He is making his way back. He's going through his knee rehab. He's got some really cool content on his IG about his rehab. First of all, how's the knee? Are you going to be ready for opening day?
Hey, man, I completed my rehab assignment. Everything's looking good. Got cleared for full contact. I also reached a new agreement with Dodgers Dugout Live, avoided arbitration. So I'll be back for the 2026 season.
Wow, you already gave you the packet of Judy, I see. Huh?
Already did.
All right, I love that. I love to hear that. But all right, this is a live show. Noel is looking for all of your hot takes. I see that Dmac needs a Skubal snack. I love me a Skubal snack for sure. But drop your hottest takes. Drop your questions. We're going to feature them throughout the show. Also later during the 7th inning stretch, we answer all your thoughts, comments, and questions about your boys in blue. So stay tuned for that. But there's so much to get into in the world of Dodger baseball. So let's get into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so the hottest story in Dodger baseball we're going to get to the juicy rumors. I know some of you have been taking a couple of weeks off. Maybe you haven't tuned in every single episode. It's been the holidays. It's been Christmas. It's been New Year. So we'll get you caught up with all the rumors and things like that in a second. But first thing is it's 2026. And there's a lot at stake for the Dodgers this year. And I hear you out there, Dmac, they just went back to back. What more do you want? You've already said that the Ohtani era is already considered to be a success. 2 World Series titles in the first 2 years with Shohei Ohtani. Yes, there's no doubt about it that you could consider it a success. But what's at stake for the Dodgers in 2026, I think isn't being talked about enough. And that is they can elevate as a franchise. You can take your franchise to the next level. A lot of franchises, to go to the next level, it's going from 0 championships to 1. Just ask the San Diego Padres, right? They would take that any day of the week. But where the Dodgers can go this year is you can enter the conversation with the great franchises in all of professional sports. The Lakers, Real Madrid. You look at the great dynasties in the history of professional sports. You go down the list, and you know what you don't find? You don't find the Dodgers on that list. And sure, you could say that it's already a dynasty because you made 13 straight postseason appearances, because you've won 3 World Series in the last 5 years. Hey, I would have signed up for that and just give me a parade. I'd be happy with that. But like Gordon Gekko said in Wall Street, greed is good. And right now, the Dodgers can get greedy, and you can start to enter that pantheon of great teams if you win a championship this season. That is what's at stake. The Yankees have their dynasties. The Yankees have most of the three-peats, right? If you look at teams that have three-peated in the history of Major League Baseball, it's only been done by 2 teams. The New York Yankees won 4 straight titles from 1936 to 1939. They won 5 straight titles from 1949 to 1953. The Oakland A's did it from 1972 to 1974, and the Yankees did it from 1998 to 2000. So if the Dodgers won the World Series this year, they would be just the 3rd franchise in Major League Baseball history to win 3 straight World Series titles. Now, they're already the gold standard in Major League Baseball, but when you win a 3rd title, you start to be compared to other teams in other sports. That is what's at stake this year. Right now, you talk about this Dodgers team and you compare them to other great baseball teams, and rightfully so. And that's a great conversation to be in. But you look at the greatest dynasties in all of sports history, you could throw out the Celtics. They won 11 NBA championships in 13 years. They won 8 straight from 1959 to 1966. The Montreal Canadiens winning 5 straight Stanley Cups from 55 to 60. You got the Patriots' reign from 2001 to 2018, where they won 6 Super Bowls in 19 years. The Bulls, 2 three-peats with Michael Jordan. The Lakers, the Showtime Lakers, 1980 to 1991, they won 5 titles. The 3-peat Lakers from 2000 to 2003. UCLA basketball, John Wooden, the Wizard of Westwood, winning 10 NCAA titles in 12 years. The Dodgers don't have a dynasty like that. But if you win this year, I think the gap between the Dodgers and the Lakers closes in a big way. Now, they're not quite there with 1 title, but I think you could really start to say, wow, this is a Dodgers team that went from, yeah, sure, they're one of the greatest baseball franchises, to now, wait, they're one of the great overall sports franchises, and that would be an incredible feat. And kind of looking at what this Dodgers team needs to do this year, I look at January 1st, New Year's resolutions. Everyone has their New Year's resolutions. I think New Year's is the most overrated holiday. It just doesn't move me. It's basically you're just partying and you're getting drunk, but you just have a hat on this time and you're throwing confetti in the air. Like, I'm not a big New Year's guy, and I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy. And I don't think the Dodgers need a New Year's resolution. I think the Dodgers are different. It's New Year, same Dodgers. It shouldn't be New Year, new me. If New Year's resolutions and New Year's was a baseball team, that team would be the San Diego Padres, right? The Padres would be New Year's. Oh, it's the new year. We're going to contend for a title. We're going to get that gym membership and lose 50 pounds and get super buff and get in the greatest shape of my life. And then, of course, by January 15th, the gym is empty. And then by August and September, the Padres are out of the division. The Dodgers are Christmas, man. Padres are New Year's. The Dodgers, hey, you got Andrew Friedman clause giving this franchise gifts and players and signings. And if you are Christmas, you have to be good all year round, right? You have to, if you want to give your family a great Christmas, you have to be good all year. You can't be Clark Griswold waiting for the Jelly of the Month subscription, hoping for your Christmas bonus, right? And that's what the Dodgers are. They don't need New Year's resolutions because this is a well-oiled machine 12 months out of the year. And then when Christmas comes along, they deliver. And just like the last couple of years, they've delivered. And it's fitting that in December is when you got the Shohei Ohtani signing and Yamamoto and all the trades and all the big signings have come at that time of the month. So the New Year's resolution for the Dodgers is really just same team, bigger goals. And that bigger goal is to enter that pantheon. I know some people might be satisfied. I know some people might say, hey, let's not stay all in. You're happy with 2 World Series titles. You kind of lived through the McCourt era, but now is the time to be greedier than ever because this franchise has an opportunity to do something that's incredibly special. That's win 3 straight titles and do something that has really never been done in this organization's history. So the truth is we could see something that the Dodgers have never done this year, just like we did last year. And that's why it should be all gas, no brakes. But we got some comments here. Blue Jays lose. That guy does that every time in hopes that I say it like that. I'm just going to say the Blue Jays lose. But no, that guy's always in the comments. I'll give you the Blue Jays did lose. Jeremy Buckley, New Year's is just another opportunity for a shoey. Come on, Dmac. Yeah, maybe my New Year's. I had people hit me up in the comments about the shoey. They're like, Dmac, we're worried that the shoey is bad for you. How about you do push-ups for when good things happen and things like that? So I don't know. Maybe we got to get the camera work down, figure something out. I had someone was like, oh, Dmac puts a sparkling apple cider in his shoe or something. I'm like, no, man, come on. First
that would
of
be
all,
like finding out that wrestling is fake. That's how sad I would be.
it's real to me, damn it. Seen that clip? Roseman, we got to get Noel to have like a tradition, like a shoey. So I don't know. We'll figure something out. Roseman Carino, can't wait for the Dmac lean back at the end of the show. That's a thing. That's funny. Lean back.
Check this one out, D-Mac.
Okay, we got Dmac. You're well oiled up as well, like the Dodgers. Okay, that's the first bruh of the year. The first bruh. By the way, Noel, someone suggested we should use an alternate bruh for when Dave Roberts spits out his tobacco after the Miggy Rowe home run, where he's like that. I think that's a pretty great idea. This could be like our sus bruh. You know what I mean? Like when Nando or anyone says something a little sus like that, call me well oiled and things like that. But we could have like alternate bros, like just for like a bruh.
I like it.
So I like that. We'll cook that up. We'll get producer Robert on that. BC, 2 World Series for Shohei just isn't enough. All the sports goats have at least 4. Yeah, we'll talk about that. It's a good topic. I like that. And he understands that too. MTV Gen X watcher fan. Me too, Dmac. New Year's kind of overrated. A holiday that makes people feel as if they ought to be at a 5-star hotel's rooftop Bacardi party. Yeah, for me, it's like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are my big 3. I don't know. Are you a New Year's guy, Noel? I know you go crazy.
Nah, bro. I didn't even stay awake till midnight. I fell asleep at 10:30. I was tired.
That's just sad.
Yeah,
That's
bro,
sad.
I can't hang no more.
No, I'll tell you the biggest thing is to do an East Coast New Year's.
East
and you
Coast.
celebrate at 9 a.m.
That's what I did.
Oh, yeah.
I stayed awake till 1:30.
Oh, so you're good.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, so now let's give the people what they want, Noel. Let's talk about these latest rumors. And the first rumor is fresh. It's not the names we've talked about all off season. This is a fresh rumor that we're going to get into. And that is about Brewers pitcher Freddy Peralta. This comes from Ken Rosenthal, who wrote about it in his most recent piece about the Dodgers and possibly being suitors for Freddy Peralta. And we're going to contextualize this for you because I think even if the Dodgers don't end up with Freddy Peralta, the big takeaway here is there is smoke with the Dodgers and wanting to add a starting pitcher. This is what it says about the Dodgers and Freddy Peralta from Ken Rosenthal's article in The Athletic. It says, Dodgers people like to say that Andrew Friedman's preferred method of operation is, quote, hanging around the backboard. If a player's price in trade or free agency drops, the Dodgers president of baseball operations will attempt to grab him on the rebound and dunk on the industry yet again. So Tucker on, say, a 4-year deal with opt-outs and a massive AAV will be a classic Friedman ad. The idea also might appeal to Tucker's low-key personality. Rather than the center of attention, he will be perhaps the Dodgers' 5th or 6th biggest star. The whole thing still sounds like a long shot, as does any chance of trading for Peralta or the Detroit Tigers' Tarik Skubal. But when Friedman is hanging around the backboard, it's best to stay attentive. Absolutely. When Friedman is hanging around the backboard, he's Dennis Rodman. He's Charles Barkley. He is grabbing boards and he's signing all-stars and players that should be with other teams, but they fell through the cracks and they end up wearing Dodger blue. Now, as far as Freddy Peralta and whether or not that'd be a good fit, well, the first thing you look at is the price. He's under club control for 1 more year. So it's basically a 1-year rental, just like Tarik Skubal would be. And Peralta is really good. Like, Peralta is, I would say, easily someone that has that stuff that plays up to where stuff-wise, on his best day, you could say he's a top 10 pitcher in Major League Baseball. And that is kind of one box you need to check off for the Dodgers to be interested in you. Because for the Dodgers to acquire a player, that tells you that they want to improve as a group. And they already have a lot of great players. So for them to bring you on, you've got to be great in your own right. And last year, Freddy Peralta, you kind of look at the numbers and you say, well, okay, nothing that blows my mind, right? But still, a 2.7 ERA, a 3.47 expected ERA, those are really good. And I think it's 33 starts in 176 2/3 innings. And what I can take away from this is that the Dodgers are telling us they want to add an ace-level pitcher, but also a guy that they're going to use like a rented car, right? What's the fastest car on the road? A rented car, right? You don't care how fast you're driving. You don't care how many miles you're putting on it. You got the insurance. You're solid. If you bring in a Tarik Skubal and a Freddy Peralta, guys that are here for 1 year, it's, hey, make all of your starts. It's, hey, pitch 170 to 200 innings. It's, we can have a workhorse starting pitcher that's elite that can give you 6 or 7 quality innings every turn through the rotation, and then you're not putting miles on Yoshinobu Yamamoto that just pitched over 200 innings regular season and postseason combined, that went on 0 days rest from game 6 to game 7. And then how about their next biggest investment in the starting rotation, Blake Snell, a guy that has only pitched over 100 innings twice, and he's someone that was dealing with a shoulder injury. You want to keep him for the postseason. So Freddy Peralta makes a ton of sense from that standpoint. Is you got guys that you can say, look, River Ryan, Gavin Stone, guys like that, and Bobby Miller, if everything worked out right. Guys that you can say, okay, they're young, they can eat innings, but can you guarantee me they're going to do it at a number 1 or number 2 starter level? The answer is, even though they have a lot of potential, I love those guys, they haven't proven it yet. Freddy Peralta has proven that. And you look at some of his more advanced stats, 84th percentile in strikeout rate. Dodgers like guys that can punch guys out, 28.2% strikeout rate. You look at his whiff rate, 30.1%, 83rd percentile. Dodgers love dudes that can miss bats. And what's the third thing they like? They like guys that miss bats as far as barrels and limiting hard contact. And he's in the 90th percentile when it comes to limiting hard contact. So the things that the Dodgers look for in a pitcher, Freddy Peralta has. The role that he would have on this team, a guy that wants to put himself in the best position to sign a big long-term deal, he's going to want. Like, if the Dodgers went to Freddy Peralta and said, hey, we're going to load manage you, you're going to basically pitch 100 and 125 innings. Freddy Peralta's like, I don't want that, man. I want to show teams out there I'm healthy, I'm dominant, I can pitch in the postseason. So Freddy Peralta would be coming in here fully motivated and incentivized to pitch, to go deep into games, to have a good year, to win a Cy Young, things like that. And just imagine how he would look in this rotation. The Yankees had the murderer's row. The Dodgers could have the murderer's rotation. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, already the Yamagoat, the World Series MVP. Blake Snell, two-time Cy Young Award winner. Tyler Glasnow, an absolute dog in the postseason. Did I mention the Dodgers were undefeated when he threw a baseball in the postseason in a game? And then I've named 3 dudes without naming Shohei Ohtani, which might be as nasty as anyone when he's right. And then, who was the number 1 prospect in baseball last year? Who was the pitcher that Andrew Friedman told me wants to be the best pitcher in baseball, and they think that he has the potential to be the best pitcher in baseball? Roki Sasaki. We're already at 5. And then you add Freddy Peralta, another guy that could vie for a Cy Young. On paper, that would be the best starting rotation of all time. And then don't get me started if they could add Tarek Skubal instead of Freddy Peralta. So, look, what we know now is, for everyone out there that's saying, wait a minute, the Dodgers don't need starting pitching. The Dodgers know something that we don't know. And even just logically, the Dodgers play for October. They're not going to force Yamamoto and Blake Snell after those postseason runs to go full bore the entire year. And I think the Dodgers have already made it very clear that last year they did not get that bye. They had to play those 2 extra games in the wild card round. I think they want to get back to winning the division, finishing with the best record, winning over 100 games, and putting yourself in the best position to play less games, right? You play less games, your pitchers throw less pitches, and you still have stuff left in the tank. Because at some point, the bill comes for these deep runs. The bill came last year for the bullpen, right? The bill came for the bullpen, and what was the cost? How'd you pay that bill? Evan Phillips had surgery, wasn't right. Blake Trinan wasn't the same. Michael Kopech wasn't the same. Even Anthony Bonda wasn't the same. You look at the entire bullpen last year and all those guys that went deep into the bullpen, all those guys were compromised to a degree because of how much the Dodgers needed them to win the World Series in 2024. And then you jump to 2025, look at how much they leaned on the starting pitching. Well, they're viewing that as, hey, we learned from how the bullpen's overuse carried over from 24 to 25. Now we're going to be proactive, and we're going to say, look, most teams would be fine, not us. We are going to be proactive because we know that to get a Tarek Skubal at the deadline, to get a Freddy Peralta at the deadline, it's a prospect capital cost that could be higher. And if you're going to make a move like this, now's the time to do it. You're going to get the most bang for your buck. And I think that's what the Dodgers are doing. And I think I've said this before on the show. I don't look at the seasons anymore as 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. I look at this as just one gigantic long season. Instead of each individual season, pretend it's just one long season with hundreds of games. And by adding another starting pitcher, you put yourself in a position to where Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow are all guys that you expect to be healthy and ready to go when it matters most in the postseason. But all right, I've said it before. I was the first guy to say it in the offseason. I'm not happy with this rotation. Even with all the stars, I would definitely add a piece. And Freddy Peralta, Tarek Skubal, for it to happen, I think that you could make the case that it's as important as adding a position player, because this team knows you win with aces in the postseason, and that's why they beat the Blue Jays. If the Dodgers didn't have top frontline starters, you would not have beaten the Blue Jays. And I think that's something that's top of mind for this franchise. But all right, do some comments. Then we're going to come back. We're going to talk some more Dodger baseball, to get some more rumors in because you got to talk about Bo Bichette. And we talk about a lot about Bo Bichette, but now he's been predicted to sign with the Dodgers. Give you our top 5 reasons why he should be a Los Angeles Dodger, because the Blue Jays made a move that could impact that. We got some more comments here. Roseman Carino, New Year's resolution, meet Dmac at a Dodgers game. Met a lot of you guys. You meet Noel too, man. Noel's always out there. Who's with his you gonna bring the bag this year? Do you bring the bag to the games?
The crossbody?
The crossbody.
I got a new one for Christmas.
You got a new one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Talk about your crossbody.
It's a leather crossbody, and it has LA on it, actually.
Really?
So maybe I can't. Yeah, we'll see.
Because you don't want to look at the fan thing.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, Antonio would probably.
But maybe you could get me a Chrome Hearts one. I know you're big on Chrome Hearts lately.
Yeah, man. Maybe some some fake Chrome Hearts. I don't get the Chrome. It's crazy how the price of a Timberland boot can go from $200 to $20,000 with a leather cross on it. I feel like an unk by like saying that's insane.
Man,
you know what I mean?
If I ever meet like your entire family, I'm gonna tell them don't buy like anything except that blue Chrome Hearts hat.
Dude,
you know,
did you see Blake Snell was wearing one at the Top Golf event, a purple one? Yeah,
that was clean.
Yeah, some Chrome Hearts today, man. They're just trying to be cool. But all right, okay, I love this. This is how you know we're alive and ready for Dodger baseball once again. This is from Sam Clark. My New Year's resolution is to not say fire Dave Roberts. Wow, that's a surprise. I feel like the first loss you're going to be saying fire Dave Roberts and that he just has a great lineup and a great team. But all right, guys, coming up next, we're going to break down some more Dodgers rumors. I think we're gonna do our New Year's resolutions tomorrow because we got our best moves from Andrew Friedman and why the chances of the Dodgers getting Bo Bichette are higher today than they were a couple days ago. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network, your front row seat to everything Dodgers all season long. Home of the #1 Dodgers podcast in the world, Dodgers Dugout Live, hosted by me, Doug McKain. Friends call me Dmac, and we cover everything about your boys in blue, everything you need to know about Dodger baseball in less than an hour. We've got breaking news, post-game breakdowns, roster updates, trade rumors, in-depth player analysis, Dodgers trivia, you name it. Whether it's a wild walk-off at the Ravine, a key call-up from OKC, we've got the insight, we got the coverage, and we're here for you all year long. We're the #1 Dodgers site on every platform, and we're born and based in LA. We're loyal to the soil. Dodger baseball is what we do. Trusted by tens of thousands of daily listeners, Dodgers Nation is more than just recaps. We are LA. Whether you're in Echo Park or out in the Valley, Beverly Hills, whatever it is, if you bleed blue, this pod's for you. The more you guys subscribe, the bigger we can build, and we can do this together. So stay up to date with our Dodgers Nation post-game shows and breakdowns and podcasts. You can listen while you're lifting, while you're in traffic, or while pretending to answer work emails. We won't tell. Subscribe now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your baseball fix. So if you're a new listener or a longtime listener of the podcast, write us a review and we'll read it on the show. Join the conversation, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a pitch with the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. Here in our second segment, we're going to continue to get you caught up on anything you missed during the break. And we're going to talk about some free agents that we've talked about quite a bit. But we got something new on Bo Bichette. And the new news on Bo Bichette is the Bleacher Report, which kind of takes with a grain of salt, just a pure prediction, nothing too crazy. They have now changed their prediction from the Blue Jays to the Dodgers. And their contract projection for Bo Bichette is 7 years, $210 million. My contract prediction was 8 years, $208 million. So this would definitely be higher than that. And the reason why that's different today than it was yesterday is the Blue Jays did sign an infielder, a corner infielder in Kazuma Okamoto to a 4-year deal. And now that you've signed an infielder, maybe for the Blue Jays, you pivot to Kyle Tucker instead of Bo Bichette. Kyle Tucker is still looking for that $350 to $400 million deal. It doesn't appear that, at least right now, it's out there and that teams are motivated to sign him at that price. But if I'm the Dodgers and I want Bo Bichette, which I've told you on this show, I've heard from agent circles that the Dodgers like Bo Bichette more than Kyle Tucker and more than Cody Bellinger and more than any other free agents out there. And the reason for that, I truly believe, is purely they realize that if they were to sign Bo Bichette, they could root for his success in years 1, 2, and 3, knowing that he'd be under contract for multiple seasons, playing at a position that he's already made clear he's willing to play now, which is second base. He's not asking to be a shortstop where he was minus 12 defensive run save. You have Mookie Betts playing there at a above average level, to say the least. And his floor there, I think, is better than Bo Bichette right now. I mean, that's wild to think, but that's just where we are. And then eventually, with Max Muncy presumably playing possibly his last year with the Dodgers this year, that opens up third base in the future. So Bo Bichette can go from your second baseman to your third baseman. He can play in the infielder. And if you are the Blue Jays and you want to add Kyle Tucker, are you really going to sign Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette and Dylan Cease? Yes, they got a taste of the World Series. Yes, they lost by a couple inches thanks to Miguel Rojas and Will Smith putting their foot on their bag and getting IKF out there. Maybe they're saying, hey, we are going to spare no expense and we're going to do anything we can to put together a championship roster. But I just can't see it. And also, you look at the roster spot that they would need, and there is some talk that they could trade Santander. They could eat 3/4 of his contract, and then you could find a way to sign Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker. And you're going to have to pay him a lot of money. You play the Cohen tax and all that stuff, but that would bring their payroll to around $400 million. Is Rogers Communication that all in? I'd be very impressed if they were. If that was the case, then that tells you it's a Dodgers Blue Jays race, and that the Mets and Stephen Cohen are saying to themselves, we don't need Pete Alonso. Forget that. I'm building a casino here. Maybe the Mets have fallen off and the Blue Jays have overtaken them. But if I'm the Dodgers right now, I'm starting to look at the opportunity there with Bo Bichette. And it's starting to feel like a more real possibility. And sure, you need an outfielder. We'll talk about that at some point this week and the guys that we'll continue to zero in on. But here's the thing. Sometimes you just want to take the very best player possible. And I think that the 5 reasons why I think that Bo Bichette would be the perfect signing this offseason on the position player side for the Dodgers are: 1, their offense needs to improve. Last year, if it weren't for a Herculean effort from that starting rotation, the offense would have been the story for why the Dodgers lost. A lineup with Shohei and Mookie and Freddy. I mean, you're averaging under 4 runs per game for most of the postseason. And Bo Bichette absolutely raked in the World Series. 8 hits, had the big 3-run home run off of Shohei Ohtani. It shows that he's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of the big stage. And that's what he would be on here in LA. So the offense needs to be better, because who's the guy that Bo Bichette would be playing alongside? It'd be Mookie Betts. They would be the keystone combination. And Mookie Betts, his offense isn't what it was. It's slightly above average. I think he has the potential to have a bounce back season. But think about this. If you sign Bo Bichette and Mookie Betts still plays above average defense, but the offense has fallen off, well, the way you could still justify the final 7 years of Mookie Betts' contract is saying, hey, at the beginning of the career, it was all about the offense and what he did in right field. The middle of the career, it might be, hey, there's value in being a really good defensive shortstop, and you could supplement that offense with Bo at second. So that's one. Second biggest thing is the Dodgers get younger. The Dodgers can hope to sustain a dynasty by adding pieces along the way that are hungry and want to get younger. And Bo Bichette is 27 years old. How old is Kyle Tucker? Well, Kyle Tucker, he's 28. Cody Bellinger's older than that. Of the 3 free agents available, Bo is the youngest of the bunch. So you get younger. The third thing is it allows your defense to really have some cohesion where you're not going with the positional versatility. And yes, this would impact Hae-Sung Kim. Yes, this would impact Tommy Edman. I love both of those guys. But I will tell you that both of those guys in their best years would not put up offensive numbers like Bo Bichette would. It's just not who they are as players. So imagine having an infield that's locked in with Freddie at first, Bo at second, Mookie at short, and then third base, I think you can mix and match a little bit. I think you can use Miguel Rojas and Max Muncy and Kike Hernandez and Tommy Edman. There is the opportunity for mixing it up with that. But the truth is if the goal is to improve the roster on the offensive side, and I know that's something that they're considering, that's the position to do it at if you're going to use a trade piece for an outfielder. Because think about this. What infielder would you trade for? And don't tell me Ellie De La Cruz because this is his city. That's not going to happen. We know that he's not going to be traded. So he's the guy that makes more sense to sign, and then you would trade for the outfielder. So there's that. Also, the fourth thing I think is interesting. I think that he has star potential. The last name is the son of Dante Bichette, and there's a deep history there you would probably want to learn about, which makes his story really fascinating. There's that. There's the fact that young fans of the game would love him. I think if you're looking at Kyle Tucker, how bland is that? Imagine giving a guy $40, $50 million a year in Kyle Tucker that would probably be like the 8th best selling jersey for the Dodgers. And that doesn't sit right with me. But I think Bo Bichette, first I'd make him grow the hair out again. And I think fans would love it. I think fans would really embrace that. And I think that it's something that's significant about that. So, and then the fifth thing, wouldn't it be great to have Blue Jays lose again? Imagine how upset Blue Jays fans would be. You beat them in the World Series, and then you take one of their beloved players. You turn that Blue Jay blue into Dodger blue. He takes the Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow path of you can't beat him, join him. And yeah, maybe he might get some KD Warrior vibes from some people, but I think it'd be more the Freddie Freeman vibes. I think if Bo goes to another team, which it could be the Phillies are interested in him, I think it's more because of that. I think it's more of, hey, my team wasn't as aggressive to go and sign me as I had hoped. So I think that's kind of where they're at. But all right, let's do some 7th inning stretch. Got some comments down below. I want all of your takes. Remember, what's the answer to the question? Of the 4, who would you rather have? Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, Tarek Skubal, or Cody Bellinger? I'll rank my 4. Bo Bichette's number 1 ahead of Tarek Skubal. The reason for that, the offense needs a boost, and if you sign him, you're guaranteed multiple years of Bo Bichette versus what's potentially 1 year of Tarek Skubal. So I'd go Bo Bichette. Behind him, I think I would go Tarek Skubal, just for the simple fact that, well, actually, I'll take that back. I think if Freddy Peralta is still in the mix as a trade, I'd probably put Kyle Tucker because he would only be signing here on a shorter-term, high AAV type of contract, and they need an outfielder. So I go Bo, Tucker, Tarek Skubal, and Cody Bellinger. Those would be my 4 in that list because I don't think enough people are talking about the needs on the offensive side, and I think that's a point of emphasis for this team. But all right, let's go to you guys. 7th inning stretch. All your thoughts, comments, and questions about your boys in blue. And we'll also pick out a comment of the show. That's coming next here on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, we got Bloodhound, Lil Jeff. Bo is exactly the bat we need. We got Roseman, Carino. I mean, the Blue Jays ownership has more money. Yeah, I mean, look, they got like $18 billion. They're like the richest ownership group in sports right now. We know that. But we got Taze. If Boba Fett signs with the Dodgers, LA should change their win song to Imperial March from Star Wars. Yeah, the Death Star is fully activated. Justin Lamas. Noel recovers faster from surgery than Hollywood. Of course, he's talking about Anthony Rendon. Who's Anthony Rendon?
That's a good one.
We've got Rambler on 7 for 210. I'll take it. Bo would make the Dodgers unfair. Dodgers Dan. Dodgers took Ohtani from Toronto, then Roki, then World Series. Taking Bo would be even more salt on the wound. Yeah, I mean, they would definitely hate that for sure. Mario Atlanta Verde. Dmac, nice new camera. You look 3D on my TV. Yeah, I think it's maybe the first shot. I don't know. Do you know how to Dougie? I'll say this. I know I'm better than Brock Purdy. I can Dougie better than Brock Purdy. I'll tell you that much. Mr. Classic, this is to tell the Tigers we're going to sell our prospects to Brewers, so you got to trade Scooble fast. I like that take from Mr. Classic. I'll give you some Dodger for life there. It's always a leverage play. The Dodgers have made it known to teams that they're willing to have conversations about adding a starting pitcher. And I think the Freddy Peralta news is extremely relevant because I think it adds more credibility to the idea that Tarek Skubal is something that they'd be willing to trade top prospects for. And I know they are. Chuck Jones, Bader hasn't signed anywhere yet. He is by far the best option for the Dodgers. 1 year, $28 million with a $30 million option and a $5 million buyout. Dodgers just need to bridge to 27. They have 4 elite prospects. We've talked about Bader on this show quite a bit. I was big on him during the deadline as a guy that could enter the conversation before he was traded to the Phillies. The issue with Bader is he's only had one really good offensive year. And the truth is they need an offensive bat in the outfield. And I'm with you, though. Like the fact that Bader wouldn't be the worst option. If you sign Harrison Bader, there's a lot of things to feel really good about. He's pretty much the only defensive first outfielder of this group. And last year he did put up above average offensive numbers. But I think the issue, I don't want to say I get Michael Conforto vibes. I know that makes you cringe for me to say that. But you look at Bader, he would allow you to put Andy Pages in right field. You could sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal. He does have reverse splits. He's better against lefties. And then do you trust him against righties? He's a glove first guy. He's only had 1 year as an above average bat. The underlying stuff isn't good. He kind of peaked at the right time. And I think with Michael Conforto, it's kind of one of those things. You touch the stove once, you get burned. You want to touch that stove again, right? Michael Conforto had a really Harrison Bader-ish year offensively last year, or 2 years ago, I should say. And they used that information to sign him. And that's the last thing I want to see with Harrison Bader this time around. I think that would be kind of the plan C to go and get a guy like that. I mean, you don't want to get a defensive first guy in the outfield. You need an offensive first guy. And the big thing I look at from that is the fact that you're bottom third in essentially every single offensive category last year in the outfield. I mean, last year, Dodgers outfielders, they hit a combined 240. That was 20th. 26th in on-base percentage. 14th in slug. Their K rate was the 11th worst. And think about this. The Dodgers as a group last year, every single outfielder combined had accrued 4.3 FWAR. 4.1 of that was Andy Pages. That was the 18th worst in baseball. So, the point is you got to add an offensive first bat in the outfield. Rambler on $5. Crazy one for you. Arise at second, hitting ninth if we don't get Bo. I'm not a big Luis Arise guy. I mean, yes, you got the contact there, but yeah, that's just the hard hit ball. I mean, and the crazy thing is Bo Bichette almost had as many hits as Luis Arise, and he played in 139 games. Exodus, no Death Star. It got blown up twice. We don't want that. I mean, yeah, but he had to find the secret little area with the X-Wing there. I don't know. I mean, they had to go back in time to beat Thanos, right? I mean, there's all these ways. Doesn't mean that it doesn't make it powerful for sure. Ray Soto, number 2. Someone signed Belly already, so the Belly to LA rumors can stop. That might be, look, and we're going to do the full-blown New Year's resolutions tomorrow. That might be my first New Year's resolution to Dodgers fans. My first New Year's resolution to Dodgers fans is stop always trying to get former Dodgers back to LA. Stop it. Just because you had some good times with them, just because they bring up some good, happy moments, some nostalgia, maybe you own their jersey, it doesn't mean it makes sense, okay? I always say you don't want to read up the McDonald's French fries. And yes, Belly I did talk about as a possible option, but let's not do that. Every single time there is a former Dodger that's a free agent, a former Dodger that could be available on the trade market, it's like, okay, let's get the band back together. I look at that as getting the bland back together. Like, I want something new, something fresh, and bringing back all these guys and hoping they were going to be something, it doesn't make sense. So, New Year's resolutions for Dodgers fans, okay? Let's not try to force the team to bring back all their former players. I don't need to see the last thing I want to see is, oh, Joe Kelly, bring back Joe Kelly as soon as the Dodgers have an injury in the bullpen, okay? Let's move forward. That's what this organization has done since Ohtani has arrived. Andy Chen says Dmac with Bo equals Debo. That's my World Series punk. It's a nice reference. It's a Friday. That's my bike, punk. Ricky Flores. I need Bo in LA like I need a torta past 9 p.m. I like that you point that out. I don't think I've ever had a torta before 9 p.m. It's always like after, it's late, I'm drunk. You know what I mean? Like that's always the best time, right?
That's the only time to have it.
That's the only time. Georgia, the last time the Yankees three-peated, it was the first time in baseball history they played with a catching device called a glove. Okay, I see what you're saying there. I mean, the Oakland A's did it in the early 70s. It's not that long ago. Well, I guess it's a million years ago now, but Ahmed thinks blue. Price for Scooby-Doo and Peralta probably still too high, but I'm sure Friedman is lurking. Once that price falls, boom. That's what they do. Like I said, if Friedman is a rebounder, he's Dennis Rodman meets Charles Barkley. I mean, he's like the best rebounder. Who's the best rebounder in 2026, Noel, for the NBA?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Who's the best rebounder? Who leads the league in rebounds? I mean,
good question.
Who's out there? That's the first name that came to mind for me. I was thinking of.
I don't think JJJ gets rebounds. Like
yeah, because he plays away from the paint.
This Joker still gets a lot of rebounds.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you're right. Joker, Cat, Gobert, Ivica Zubats. That's a move that Friedman would not have made for that much. Chuck Jones, Teo will hit 35 to 40 home runs next year. And we're gonna do a hot take segment later the week, and that could be it's not super hot, but you would definitely take that. Graham Farmer, Doug, if you sign Bo, do you then need to trade Teo for a left-handed bat in the outfield? Look, so the way the Dodgers treat players that they want is give me said player and we'll figure everything out after that. But I do think that becomes an avenue you need to explore. I totally think that you're onto something with that because they don't like to give opposing managers the platoon advantage, the managerial advantage. And when you stagger the lineup, which they like to do, go left, right, left, right, left, right. Well, you need formidable hitters on both sides. But I think they're more looking at the production on both sides, which he does have. Stephen Blevins, I miss Dodgers baseball so much. You know what's crazy? There's an old saying that December 31st feels like it's 100 years from spring training. And then January 1st feels like it's like 5 days, right? Isn't it so crazy how it went from it felt like it was an eternity to now it feels like the spring training is like right around the corner and Dodger baseball is here. And I know Noel's really excited about this.
Oh, super excited. You know, it's crazy because I think the first spring training game for the Dodgers is 47 days away, and they won the World Series 64 days ago.
That's a pretty good way to frame it. Oh my God. That just reminds me. I need to bring back my tradition of where I do the players' number for how many days we are away. So I guess you said tomorrow we got to do 46. So there you go. We got to SK Wonderful 199. Stop sleeping on Taqueria Frontera. How's my pronunciation on that? Taqueria Frontera in Cypress Park. You know, I feel at this point we're starting to get taco trucks, Mexican food restaurants doing super chats on this show for free advertisement. And if you're gonna do that, it's fine, but at least send me some physical food that I can eat. Send me a gift card, like invite me there. But I'm happy to help out and promote for sure. Drews, Dmac, longtime listener, long time no listen. What's good now? Yeah, we're trying to get everyone caught up, man. We're gonna do some roster resets, some rumor resets, get you ready for the 2026 season. MTV Gen X Watcher fan, Easter best holiday, mellow decor, no crazy spending, and one thing, is it? Yeah, I mean, look. Oh my, is this another advertisement for San Diegans? Get right down here. Is it chillax? Yeah, look. Oh, San Diegans. Okay, I agree. Easter's a good. Who would Easter be? If the Dodgers are Christmas, the Padres are New Year's, the Yankees would be Easter because they think they're God's gift to baseball. I think that's who it would be. It would be the New York Yankees for that one. We got BC. I appreciate the time off, especially when the Rams, Lakers, Kings are good. We've got Ahmed. Who would throw seeds for homers? Big Dog would take over, right? I don't want to find out. Ahmed thinks blue. I don't think they're going to trade Teoscar Hernandez unless there's a team out there willing to take 90% of his contract first and foremost. But once you trade Teo, you trade one of the best lefty mashing right-handed hitters in baseball. And I will say this, outside of the Miguel Rojas home run, outside of the Will Smith home run, outside of the Freddie Freeman home run in game 3 in the 18th inning, Teo's home run in game 1 against the Phillies, it does not get talked about enough. You lose that game. At that point, the Phillies, Noel, they were still the odds-on favorite to win the World Series, and they were favored to lose that series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was huge. And Teo hit that big bomb, man. Like, I think, I don't think Teo, what's the polls for Teo on the socials? I feel like he still gets a lot of love.
Still a ton of love, but I think this offseason more than ever, people were, of course, it's only been one offseason since he came, but this time around, more people were open to seeing some kind of move.
I think so. Look, Dodger fans they're ruthless, man.
Yeah.
Like, trust me. I cover
love you
other
one day,
teams,
hate 'em
and you
the
say,
next.
yeah, they keep it 1,000, 1 million about their teams. We got top pastrami sandwich in LA. Dru's. You know what? I was actually at Cantor's. I don't know if the Cantor's doesn't have the reputation for being the best, but I did have a pastrami dip on the roll. That was a banger. I know Langer's is pretty hardcore. If you guys got any, you got to go the thinly sliced pastrami. I don't know, Gary, you got any pastrami Rex? The hat goes hard.
We went to the hat one.
We went to the hat. That's Buddy's spot. Buddy loves that. We've got top 5 best Friedman's moves is not signing Hollywood. Talking about Anthony Rendon. That is the ultimate bullet dodge. But all right, I love it. You know what? Should we get into? Let's do that next. Let's hit it the more comments, and then we'll hit that. A lot of people commenting today. It looks like. No, MTV Gen X walked. Everyone's getting into this Easter thing. The Rockies are Easter because it's a chill holiday and not much effort needed to have a good time. No, the Rockies are Thanksgiving. They're just thankful to have a team. Like, that's who the Rockies are. Final boss, Dmac. I hope we get Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, Bo Bichette, Ken Griffey Jr., Babe Ruth, and Bugs Bunny. Okay, I like that. We got Joe Man. Question, do we consider dropping Shohei in the lineup a bit? He was on the base pass all year. Too much workload. Joe Man 6'7". Look. The truth is with Shohei Ohtani is he can't bat anywhere past 2 because you want to give him the most at bats. Period. Right? You just look at the World Series, and I'll give you this example. When Miguel Rojas came up, and everyone was sad, I'll never release that thumbnail that I was going to drop for that loss, right? But it was made, and the title of the show was done, and we all thought that it was over, right? The reason why you had some hope is because Shohei Ohtani was coming up, right? And the reason why he was coming up was because he was batting leadoff. So the truth is he's still a dynamic base runner. He's faster than Mookie Betts, and they want to have a left, right, left, and possibly put Will Smith or Teoscar in the third spot, but you're not going to have 2 lefties and 2 righties, and you're not going to have Mookie Betts bat leadoff because that's not the kind of hitter he is these days. So I still think that you have to run it back. I mean, the dude just won an MVP batting leadoff. And you're here to tell me it doesn't work? I mean, no, he's my leadoff. There's no doubt about it. All right, we got some more. Yes, and Teo smiles invaluable to keep tensions down when the bench is clear against the Puds. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I like that. Bilal K, believe this. The Dodgers' road to three-peat will go through the Phillies for the pennant and Blue Jays for the championship. To beat them this time, we will need to be clearly better than them. $5 super chat from Hale Ford. Hawkins Burger and Watts. Very good burgers and pastrami. Just make sure you go there in the daytime. Okay, you know what? I'm going there at 9:45 tonight. Why? We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? But we got Carl. Wonder how long this season that Tanner Scott will be on the roster. He was going to be on the roster the whole season. That's not even a hot take. But all right, guys, we are running out of time. So let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone.
All right, today for the walk-off, Paul Hembekides from ESPN, a baseball historian, he says that Game 7 of the World Series was the greatest game in baseball history. Not just the greatest Game 7, the greatest game. And how can you argue with him? I think what I look at for this argument is I'm still waiting for anyone to bring up a better game. I mean, you look at the Diamondbacks and the Yankees from 2001. You look at some other games from previous eras of baseball, the Red Sox, and you just don't find a game that had that much drama. And the thing is, you can actually prove that it was the most impactful game in Game 7 and potentially in postseason in Major League Baseball history, because statistically, it had the most massively impactful plays in history of a game because it had 9. And when you say that, what is massively impactful? Well, that refers to plays throughout that game that changed the win probability that significantly. And that game, that World Series, you had already 3, you had 9 in Game 7. And you had so many impactful plays. And you look at some other examples. I mean, from Mookie Betts' double play that ended it. I mean, that was a ground into a double play where you're up 5-4 with 2 on and 1 out. I mean, there's the little plays. The Will Smith home run, that gave them a 41% boost in win probability. You look at the Miguel Rojas home run, that gave them a 34.9% win probability added with that solo shot. It's funny how the Will Smith one is more probable, but all these numbers combined actually can statistically prove that Game 7 was the most drama-filled game as far as turning points in a single game. That had enough plays and moments to last an entire postseason, and it happened by one team in one game. And then you look at the rest of that series. In most 7-game series, you're hoping to get one classic game. I think if you get one classic game and most of the games are competitive, you can say that it was a good series, that it was quality. But the 2025 World Series had 3 classic games. Game 3, the 18-inning thriller, where Freddie Freeman became the first player to ever have multiple walk-off home runs in his career in the World Series. And the wild thing about that is he wasn't even the main story of that game. Take your pick. Will Klein was unhittable in that game. Will Klein, who had thrown 36 pitches in his career, ends up throwing over 70 in that one. Will Klein, before he was a Dodger, these were his 3 ERAs. An 11.05 ERA in 2024 with 2 teams, and then a 27 ERA with the Oakland A's. And with the Dodgers, he pitched 4 scoreless innings in Game 3. Even Edgardo Henriquez was good in that game. Clayton Kershaw got a valuable out where he was base throwing more balls than strikes and got a ground out with the bases loaded that really saved his reputation towards the end of his career. Imagine if the Dodgers had won that series and Kersh flamed out in that game. It just wouldn't feel the same. It would kind of hurt. So the fact that he came through and you saw it happen in Game 6, Game 7, improbable moments, heroes that weren't the biggest stars on the team. And I think bigger than everything else, with just how competitive that series was, it's how impactful it is for the game of baseball. 51 million people tuned in domestically and internationally to the World Series. And I think it's that if baseball is going to pass the NBA, where the NBA has been ahead of baseball for a while in certain respects, before kind of this run that the NBA has been on, where you've had bad series in the finals, the ratings have plummeted, and the Thunder and the Pacers were getting around 11 million per game in that series. I think if baseball is going to firmly be number 2 behind football, behind the NFL, this is the series you're going to point to, which was the launching point for that. Because just 2 years ago, the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, that was the lowest rated World Series in the history of the sport. You had 7 million people per game watching that thing. And then that jumps because of Shohei and the Dodgers in Toronto. So it was a massively impactful series, and it was classic games, and it was basically everything you could ever hope for. But I totally agree with Paul Hembekides. The number one game as far as heart pounding, thrill racing, and you ended up on the right side of it too. So I'm pretty sure if you're a Blue Jays fan, you don't feel that way. But all right, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Dmac_LA. If you haven't yet, do us a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, drop a like, drop a comment down below. Join us in a little bit. We're going to be talking more Dodger baseball over on the LA Sports Report. So find us over there. We'll leave the info down below in the comment section and in the description. Join the Discord and go to gearup.la. Noel, do we get a comment of the show? I think I'm going to go with the dude that was the one with the Padres and the Rockies.
Oh, with the saying that the Rockies were Easter?
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
That was Dmac knows the Dodgers ownership on the Lakers of Friedman. There's a couple contenders here. But
Let's see, I can scroll up for you real quick. We can look through the latest ones too. There's some good ones on the way out.
We have someone that was trying to like promote it here. Okay, here's this one that wins. Time for the Four Loco Challenge. I like that. But are we talking 2010 Four Locos or after they watered them down? We're talking about the ones that you can still buy on eBay that I'm currently bidding on, or the new one. So yeah, we'll do a Four Loco Challenge for sure. All right, guys. Great show, Dmac. Let's go Dodgers. All right, guys. Yeah, that's gonna do it. See you tomorrow. Remember, you can follow Noel. You can follow myself at Dmac_LA. Check out all of his stuff at Noise by Noel. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring,